Okay, we are ready to latch back on to our rosary up at the top here at our centerpiece. So we have Mary is on top again, of course, but we're going to flip her upside down. So she's still on top, but she's upside down. I'm going to take, remember we just did our last decade here. I'm going to take the end of my cord. I'm going to go from the top down. I'm going to pull, and I'm going to pull until I can line up. I'm going to hold this straight. I'm going to line up so that my Hail Marys are lined up here. See how they're lined up? Our fathers are lined up. I'm going to take this cord. I'm going to go underneath a little bit so it's kind of more in between these two beaded cords. I'm going to transfer that to my right hand. I'm going to then place that on the side like we do, and I'm going to hold it with my thumb. These beads are going to go over the top. This cord is coming out to the side and down here. I'm going to use it to latch on, remember? Now I'm going to start my X. There's my first wrap, my second wrap, and my third wrap. So remember, when you latch on to the rest of the cord, you're always crossing over that, okay? So then I hold that with my index finger on my left hand. I'm going to take the end of my cord. I'm going to put it behind and underneath all of that. Comes out the front. I pull tight. Now this time, before we start, we're going to slide it off, but before we start tightening too much, we're going to make sure we're looking to make sure that our knots line up. So I'm going to tighten it just a little bit here. And then I'm going to keep an eye on making sure these knots line up. I'm kind of moving it, squeezing it. I'm going to pull to tighten a little. I'm going to make sure that it's in line with this other knot. And my beads are lined up. Everything's lined up. I can pull this down just a little bit. There we go. So that looks pretty good. Okay, but I am noticing, I'm just going to take my tail here over a little bit so I can look at my rosary. I am noticing that my knots are lined up, but maybe my Hail Marys, yeah, this side seems a little higher than this side. So I'm just going to grab hold of really tightly right above that knot. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to just pull a little bit on that knot to get that Hail Marys to line up. And there we go. Everything's lined up. Okay, so I just double check that this knot is good and tight. I then take my scissors. Remember, I'm going to bend this kind of together like a sandwich so I can keep all of this away from where I'm going to cut and burn. So if you're leaving your tails on, you're going to cut 1/8 of an inch right here. If you're taking your tails off, you cut all the way down. We take the burner. We don't actually put it on it because it's white. We're just going to put it up next to it to melt it. And we tap, tap, tap. And there we go. There's our finished first part of our rosary. See how everything's lined up? Our two knots are lined up. Our two Hail Marys and our fathers are all lined up. Okay, so then remember not to forget, not to get rid of this because you need it to move on to the next knot. Okay?